everybody, and in this video we're going to be taking a look again at one of the brand new multiplayer maps coming with the House of Wolves DLC. This one is called Black Shield and it takes place in Fire-based Thuria on Phobos. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I apologize. And the general theme of this DLC for Crucible maps is that the maps seem to be a little bit more on the larger side. As you guys probably know, we've had kind of an influx of smaller maps, especially when they added Anomaly and the Burning Shrine and Asylum to the regular Control playlist rotation. With this DLC, we're actually getting some larger maps. They're not super big. I mean, Widow's Court is a pretty big map, but they don't play like super big maps. You just tend to have a little bit more space between you and the enemy. You're not constantly bumping into enemies randomly. You have a little bit more distance to kind of separate yourself from the enemy. So immediately jumping into this map, you probably think that it looks pretty similar to another Crucible map, and that is Fire-based Delphi, and it definitely reminds me of it. The whole time that I was playing, I was like, this looks super similar. I assume that they take place in the same place. I'm not entirely sure. I probably should have researched that before making this video, but they look the same, so I can come to the conclusion that they're in the same place, right? That's how life works. Sure, that's how life works. So it looks very similar, and the way that I would like to explain this map is that it's kind of like a bigger, more open Fire-based Delphi. Because as you guys know, when you play Fire-based, each of the capture points are essentially inside. The A flag, definitely inside. The B flag is inside in a very hectic place where people can come at you from all directions. And the C flag, it is further away from the other capture points, and it is outside technically, but it still has a roof over it, so technically it's still inside. Whereas on this map, although the setting is very similar and the doors are similar, the look of it is very similar, it plays differently because all of the points are outside. You're in the open, which is awesome. But something that I've also noticed with this DLC when it comes to Crucible maps is that it seems like they've tended to put the capture points that are in the open, they've given you some cover, but they've not just given you cover like, oh, I can just hide here. They've also given you cover that you can stand up on to take advantage of having a higher vantage point. So I've actually just really enjoyed playing on all of these maps because they do offer you something a little bit different. The only time that you have this kind of feel with the current maps, I would personally say, is when you're playing Shores of Time and you're playing Rusted Lands. Yeah, maybe that's it. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. That's the only time that you have this kind of feeling where the maps are, you know, they're not super big, they're not super small. You have a good amount of distance between you and your enemy. That's how I would say pretty much all of these maps are. They all have that same kind of engagement distance where you have a little bit more space than on the other maps between you and the enemy team. Another common trend that I have noticed with the House of Wolves DLC Crucible maps is that each of the capture points are decently far away from each other, and I personally really enjoy that because there's a lot of situations on a lot of maps where you're like, I can't capture B. It's not possible. They have it super held down. Maybe they have snipers, they have grenades, they got their supers ready. They are just holding that point down. And going from your flag to the other flag is super far away for you, but for the enemy, they can actually get to you really quickly. Whereas on these maps, they all seem to be evenly spaced apart. So you are just as far away from that other flag as the enemy team is. So you can actually get there and at least neutralize it, maybe even capture it before people come and attack you. And because it's so far away and we know that people are lazy, even Guardians are lazy, people don't want to run all the way to that capture point to go and defend it. So usually you'll end up coming into contact with maybe 1 or 2 people at the most while you're capturing it. So I really like that. I like the fact that they've done that with these map designs, because if you're having trouble, like I said, taking a B flag, you can just go to the other flag and you can hold those two down instead. Now I just want to talk about the B capture point in a little bit more detail because I actually really like B on this map. I like it a lot, and the reason is because it is wide in the open and people can come from every direction. but you have cover. You have these little walls that are surrounding it when people are coming from the sides, and you can actually jump on top of them. There's plenty of points that you can get on top of and really take advantage of that cover. Even though I was using a shotgun, I wasn't a sniper. I know some people was standing on top of them to snipe people. I could go behind the wall, wait for me to see someone on the radar on the other side of the wall, and pop out, shotgun them, and go back in. I just really like the way that B was designed. It feels like it's open, but there's enough cover to take advantage of to where you're not just a sitting duck when you're taking the flag. And it's always difficult when you're playing against a competent team and you're just a sitting duck. You don't have any cover that you can use. You don't have anything that you can back away to and kind of take advantage of that. So I really like that B was like that. I really do. I like things being open because you have a little bit more space for counterplay. For example, there was a lot of freaking Nova Bomb Warlocks on the enemy team throughout this entire play session, because obviously we played against the same people in all of the maps that we played. There was a lot of Nova Bomb Warlocks, and when you're in tight spaces, they're going to kill you. Even if you have blink, if you are in a room and a Nova Bomb comes at your face, the big purple ball of death is what I used to call it when I thought it was overpowered in alpha. You can't really get away from it because there's a roof, there's only so far that you can go. Whereas when it's outside in the open, you can actually avoid that kind of stuff. You have a lot more space to dodge the grenades and the supers, etc. So I really am happy with the fact that they have brought out these maps that put you a little bit more in the open, but yet still give you enough cover to be able to take advantage of that and get the one up on your enemy when it comes to team fights. When it comes to what weapons are the best and what classes are the best to use on this map, you're gonna notice a theme when it comes to me talking about House of Wolves Crucible maps in general, and that is that you can pretty much use anything that you want to use. It's not like Anomaly, for example, where you want a shotgun. You can snipe, but you want a shotgun. Or Shores of Time, where a sniper is really good. These maps, you can use everything, like you really can. There's enough cover and there's enough open space, there's enough vantage points to take advantage of both shotguns and snipers, gunslingers and arc bladers. I use those as examples because they're very different. One is a long range, one is a more aggressive in your face kind of thing. So don't think that I'm hating on Warlocks and Titans. I love everybody equally, except Titans. I'm just kidding. Don't hate me. I'm just kidding. I deleted my Titan, but I still love you guys. But yeah, it's all a similar theme with all of these maps. You can use anything that you want. You just have to use the map in a more specific way. So if you're using a shotgun, you want to be more aware of the cover. If you're using a sniper, you want to be more aware of the situations that you can take advantage of where the vantage point is going to be in your favor. So I think that is pretty much it for this video. If you've played Firebase Delphi, which I'm sure you have, this map will feel and look very familiar for you, but it does play totally different considering that each of the capture points are actually outside. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've had a lot of coverage of just PvP stuff in general. So if any of you have missed that, or this is the first video that you're watching, I will leave links in the description to absolutely everything that I got, all of the videos that I've made to cover my time at Bungie Studios, playing Trials of Osiris, and also playing all of the new Crucible maps. Okay guys, I hope you had a good time here. I had a good time talking to myself, which is essentially you guys. I'm not a crazy person. And I will speak to you awesome people later. Bye.